Hi, ladies. We're back with our Ascension roundtable today for the women's talk. We have Kimberly Palm with us. Kimberly, welcome.
Thank you.
We have Sherri Divband and we have Victoria Reynolds. Would you ladies like to each take a turn to introduce yourselves and what you do? Starting from Kimberly.
How about Sherri?
Okay, sure, Sherri.
Hi, I'm Sherri. As you guys all know, I'm an energy healer. I'm an author, just like all of these lovely ladies. And right now my I'm focusing on two things. One, New Earth Children is a very huge passion of mine, and also helping people through the Ascension.
And Victoria.
Hi, I'm Victoria. Like Sherri, I'm also a healer and an author. My focus is on helping people process their fear-based beliefs so that we can all transition into a reality based in love.
Mm-hmm. Kimberly?
I am Kimberly Palm. I'm a spiritual teacher and counselor, advisor, and author, and also energy healer. And I just help awaken people who are awake on their journey, on their spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Ileana the Star Traveler. I'm also a healer. I'm a psychic and a spiritual teacher. As well, I have a book out, Crystal Grids, The Art of Healing with Crystals, and I do a lot of teaching of crystal grids as well. So we're having our Women's Ascension Roundtable today, part 3. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having us back.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Awesome.
So let's discuss what's going on with us, with each of us, what we're working on, what's going on with Ascension, what's happening in our lives, and how we're helping to change other people's lives. So whoever wants to go first to share. Sherri?
Okay.
Sherri, why don't you go?
I'll go. Okay. Let's see. Let's start with the children. So the children, oh gosh, I meet the most amazing children every single day through these one-on-ones that I've been doing to help really help the parents navigate these children's growth. And these kids are seeing through different dimensions. They're seeing their guides, their angels, their grandparents that passed away. Most recently, I spoke on Michael Jaco's show about a little boy from Mars. Well, he's not from Mars, but he remembered a war that he had on Mars that he participated in and died, which was eye-opening for me because he remembered everything so clearly. But really, recently I've been working with a lot of autistic kids trying to navigate through that paradigm and the label that they have been placed in by their doctors, and the parents are really lost on what it is that they need to do to help their kids thrive, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with them, but they are just having a difficult time energetically. And if I can explain to as many people as I can that this, from an energetic perspective, what's going on with these children with Asperger's, autism, ADHD, then they can understand their children much better, and then they can have a more cohesive relationship with each other. And then these children feel much more comfortable going out into the world because they themselves understand why they are the way they are, why they're, and I always try to explain to them that there's nothing wrong with them. They're just very unique and very, have so much potential. And so that's really what I've been working on a lot lately is the kids, and they know about the Ascension. Do you know that they tell their parents that, do you know that we're going through a great awakening, and that I'm not from Earth?
Whoa.
Yeah. I had a 6-year-old tell me the other day that we were going through an ascension, and they came here to contribute to the elevating of the frequency of the planet. This mother was like, I have never talked to him about this. No, nor has he watched any videos. I don't know where this is coming from. It was incredible. He told me exactly where he was from, and what these special kids are here to do. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And so that's what I've been working on a lot lately is listening. You know, all these kids, they want to say something and they want somebody to talk to that will listen to them. And so they'll just sit there and talk to me forever. You know, and as soon as they hear that I'm interested, they just keep going, and I love it. And so that's been really exciting for me because it's a what's that saying? It's a breath of fresh air. you know, because when I work with the adults, it's a lot of convincing and a lot of explaining, and, you know, and it can be very tedious. And I love that aspect because I love to teach as well. But with the kids, it's just, I feel like they're teaching me, and I just sit back and listen, and it's just completely different. And so that's kind of what I've been working on the most lately. Yeah, I'll let you guys talk and then I'll share more later.
Kimberly?
So I don't remember if I mentioned this the last time we all got together, but I'm really trying hard to get this thing back out to the world again. My video is delaying. I don't know why, but my video is delaying from all of you guys. I don't know if I have a poor connection or what it is, but this book is a book that I published back in 2016. It's called The Real Fountain of Youth: An Introduction to the Peace Stress Management System. It's basically a total body, mind, spirit healing book and a guidebook that people use literally the rest of their life to keep healthy and happy and whole. And I published it in 2016. And what happened is it was a bestseller. And then I had to shut my business down for different reasons. And when I did, I had to take the book off the market because I couldn't run it through the tax thing anymore. And, you know, I didn't have a business to run the book through anymore. So I pulled it off. So what happened is I was standing in my bathroom about 2 months ago, and the boss, Yeshua, said to me, Kimberly, you need to get that book out. Why? Is because it's a total stress management system book. And before the what do we want to call the PANDEMIC started, I don't want to get us booted off YouTube, so I'm not going to say it. But before that FLU, whatever you want to call it, started on the planet, people were really stressed out everywhere. Like the whole world was already stressed out. And that's why I originally wrote the book in the first place. But now the people on the planet are even more stressed. Like he told me, Kimberly, they're 100 times more stressed now. You got to get this book back out, because I wasn't going to put it back out again. I was just going to say, forget it, and just move forward with my Ascension teaching and my Ascension 101 book that I already have out, and just forget about the other one. And he said, nope, you got to get this one back out because everybody needs this now. He said they need it now more than they did back in 2016. So you got to get it out. So I republished it again. So I've been trying to kind of get the word out about that. That's what I've been focusing on. And then just helping my clients every day, doing healing work on people, giving them soul readings, you know, telling them where they came from, all that kind of fun stuff. And just really focusing on that. But the biggest issue I have is dealing, you know, Victoria and I had a discussion. We just did a video about this, is how frustrated and angry that we sometimes feel, and that everybody is feeling about how things are not happening the way we thought they were going to happen on the timeline, because we had all of these psychics and people saying this was going to happen this year and this was going to happen by this date and this date, and none of the stuff has happened yet to date that anybody's promised. And so looking at that state of frustration that everybody's in right now, a lot of people are extremely frustrated right now. And so that's a big thing to help people with. So for all of us, for all four of us, that we need, you know, even like you, Sherri, even though you're working with kids and the kids don't really understand necessarily what's going on a political spectrum, their parents do. And so you can even help them through the children. You're also helping the parents, because the children can be quite a, how do you want to say, a grounding tool for their parents. Children can kind of rein their parents back in and help them to be more grounded, you know, to earth, because those children are already naturally grounded to earth, very, very grounded.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I worked with a woman a few days ago who, her frequency was like in the 300s. She was very low. She's been in the karmic wheel for, I think it was like 30 plus years, really, really struggling. And she had lost herself, completely lost her connection to her soul. And we were working on healing. I was working on healing, doing healing on her. And her guides told me that the only thing that keeps her grounded and the only thing that raises her vibration is when she's with her grandchildren. And when I told her that, she said, that's so true. When I'm with them, I light up. I feel alive. When I go back home, I feel like I have no purpose, and I feel tired and I'm depressed. And as soon as they come around me, I just feel like I'm bright. I have light. And that's what these children do, because their vibration is so high. So it's proof.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the biggest thing that I'm upset about is I wanted to be a grandma because my kids are already grown up. They're 21 and 23, and I wanted to be a grandma someday, but my kids, one of them already got 2 of those pokes in the arm, and the other one's about to get them. She won't listen to me. And supposedly those cause mass sterility. And so I'm looking at that going, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get to be a grandma, because I was really looking forward to being a grandma and loving on grandbabies and taking grandbabies to Disneyland and to the park and taking them, you know, and having fun with grandbabies, teaching them how to bake cookies, you know, just like my grandma did with me, teaching them how to play card games like my grandma did with me, you know, because I love my grandma so much. And I was looking so forward to being a grandma, and I'm worried that that might not ever happen now for me because of this. So that's a concern I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victoria?
So what have I been up to?
Mhm.
I've actually been very busy writing another book. I have a book I started writing about 20 years ago, and I finally hired somebody to help me finish it because I had an idea of what I wanted it to be like. It's different than any other book I've ever written. This is my memoirs of growing up in the polygamist cult that I'm from. And so it's completely different. My other books are all just, you know, self-improvement, spirituality, and transformation. And this is a novel. So it's completely different style of writing. And it's interesting because the person I hired said, when you're writing this, it's like channeling your other books. She said, it's just, you're going to be channeling something completely different. And so she was right. I was working on a chapter last week, and I'm creating a character from when I was a little girl. And I asked the character what her name was, and she told me her name and her accent and all of it just channeled right through onto my paper. And so that's been really exciting, is seeing, because I'm normally writing spiritual stuff and self-improvement stuff, and she was right. It's the same kind of process. It just flows in just a little bit differently. It's like, so, and it's interesting that this character is telling me what she's wearing and what she looks like, and so that's been really fun. I've been working on that. And then I finished the 10-year anniversary edition of Transcending Fear. That's with a publisher right now. And that is my transcendence process. So when I first started having my spiritual awakening, you know, back in, well, it started in 2008, and I started writing this book, Transcending Fear. And at the time, it actually wasn't a book. It was just what my inner therapist was teaching me how to heal my life when I was in my own, what I call my holy shift. So I wrote down the messages that what I know now as my higher self gave me to heal my life. And I took them at one point and I put them all on the computer, and it wasn't intended to be a book. It was just, it's what my inner self, my higher self told me to heal my life. And it ended up being Transcending Fear. And there's 7 principles in there. And I've taught it a couple of times over the years, but have also been raising kids. And I got the hit really big about a month ago that it was time to start teaching this publicly, because what I was told 10 years ago when it was given to me is that it's a process that the entire world can use to heal or even our collective story. So I'm teaching it. I have my first class is starting up on Monday night, and it's one Monday a month. Sorry, not a month. It's a 9-week program. So I'm teaching that live for the first time to a group of people, to an actual Zoom classroom environment. So I'm really looking forward to that experience. And what else? I have a much more healed relationship with both of my children. I think the last time we talked, they actually weren't talking to me for a couple of months, and now they are. Unfortunately, they both have the pokey as well. My husband did that without talking to me about it first. So we'll see how that goes. Like Kimberly, my daughter has zero interest in having children, so that was never even a consideration. But if it ends up having side effects for my son, that makes me sad, because the only thing he's ever wanted to be is a dad. So I'm hopeful. When I tuned in and asked, Spirit told me that whatever choices my kids made, they would both be fine. So I'm trusting that. And it's part of the path. So I've learned how to detach from their path, because I don't know what their path is. And detaching's been really difficult, and also been incredibly important for me to do my work without feeling like I'm dragging my family along with me. So I'm letting them be who they need to be. And so that's what I've been up to since the last time we spoke.
And I've been working on remembering things about my ET contact experiences, and recently sharing that in a video I did, just the different ETs that I worked with and how my healing journey started. Because what the first thing they had taught me, the Andromedans, the L race, and the Pleiadians, was that healing comes from within, and energy, anyone can work with energy. We all have capabilities. For us, some of it is natural, like, we just work with it. And for some, it takes some training. It takes time to understand how energy flows, how energy comes out, and where it comes from. So I remember when I was on the different ships, they would say to me, well, Elle, they call me Elle. My name is Ileana, or Elle. So they say to me, the way you work with energy is, like, we don't give you the technology. We're not just going to instantly heal you. You need to understand that when you ask permission, we're here to teach you. We don't interfere with human beings and their growth cycle. We're just here to help. So if you ask us for help, we will teach you how to heal. You just need to ask. So with them, it was about, like, you don't just instantly get technology and everything is done and the world is saved. We are the saviors of ourselves. So the way they work with us is by, you ask them, I want to learn your healing techniques. I want to learn how you heal, how you work with energy, and they teach you how to do that. So that's mostly all how benevolent ETs do this, from what I understand, working with different groups and being on different ships. So whenever I wanted knowledge, whenever I wanted to learn something different from them, I just had to look at what they were doing, the healers on the ships. All I had to do was ask, can you please teach me how to do this? And if I was willing to be a full participant in what they were teaching and to learn from them, what they were teaching me, they were glad to do it, glad to teach how to heal, what was it, how it works, because they want to help us pass on their knowledge, as long as we ask and be full active participants with what they're teaching us. So that's kind of been what I've been exploring and talking about on my shows, and also trying to self-empower the folks that I work with in my sessions to help them learn about their past lives, galactic soul origins, because I do galactic soul readings and past life readings, hypnosis, soul retrieval. So I've just been really working on giving people their deepest information that they can get about themselves, and sometimes perspective on life stuff that's going on with them. So just to give them the best that I can on what's happening, why, what are we working here with, what's your soul mission, what are you doing here? So those are the things I've been doing, the types of sessions. And it really humbles me what I remember doing with the ETs, because that was a long time ago. That was in 2014 when I was having the contacts. And now I'm actually doing energy healing work the way they taught me. Of course, with knowing Reiki as well, learning like how to get certified in Reiki and energy healing and shamanism and crystals, just so I feel more comfortable with that. But it was first the ETs that started teaching me how to work with energy and frequencies. That's what I remember recently, and I've been sharing that information.
That's really great, Ileana.
Oh, I love that, Ileana.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to tag on that a little bit. I was talking to my mom this morning, and I don't know how we got into the conversation. I think, well, so I'm writing my third book, and it's all about teaching people how to do the healing themselves, and all the things that I do. Because, you know, Kimberly's a healer, Victoria's a healer, Ileana's a healer. There's a lot of wonderful healers out there. We need a lot of healers because a lot of people need to be healed or to be shown how to do it. And we all have our process. So each one of us probably do things similar, but we also do things that are different. And it just has to do with what we resonate with and what we like to do. No right, no wrong. It's just different. And I'm writing about my process in the book on, you know, how to do timeline and healing and merging, how to do soul retrieval and my method. And I was trying to think about, you know, how do I know all of the stuff that I know now looking back? You know, yes, I took Reiki 1, 2, and 3, just like all of us, and from an instructor. But as I reflect on a lot of my journey, I've realized that most of the stuff that I know how to do was taught to me through ETs when I'm doing my session. So I'm working on somebody, a spirit guide or an ET will come through, and they will literally, sometimes, a lot of times actually, guide me, come here, do this. They'll pull my hand over here, stay for this amount of time, do this intensity. And I follow it, and it works, and it helps the person. And then I ask questions after, like, what did I do? Like, and it makes sense to me and it resonates, and then I'll do it on somebody else. And then over time, then it's part of my routine. Now I do it with everybody, or those that I feel need that particular thing. So a lot of the things that I've learned is so priceless, just like Ileana's saying, is because I don't have a lot of human teachers. I maybe 3 in my life. Everything else I have learned from all the beautiful people that I've worked with, hundreds and hundreds of people that I've done healings on. Their beautiful guide has come through and taught me something, or I have learned something. And you compile that over years and years, and you look back and say, wow, like that's such a beautiful thing, because you can't learn it all in one place, and it takes time and knowledge. And also the higher your frequency, the more you're able to see. There are things now that I could do that I couldn't do last year. I couldn't see. My vibration wasn't high, like my frequency wasn't high enough. I couldn't see into that dimension. Now I see it so clearly. I'm like, there the whole time, I didn't see it. And I don't know. I just think that that's really cool that Ileana openly shared that, because I was just talking to my mom about that today. Now, have I been on ships? I don't know. I don't have any conscious memories like you do, but they come through the sessions that I do with people. So I thought I wanted to share that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else to add to that, Victoria, Kimberly, from your experiences?
Well, all of my experiences are in body experiences, and my information comes through more telepathically. So I don't do hands-on healing with clients the way you ladies do. I'm more of a teacher. So I get, I wouldn't necessarily call them downloads. I actually call them love streamings. I get messages that love stream. And so I get those all the time. But I have notebooks everywhere, because sometimes a message comes in. I'm like, wait, let me find a notebook to write that down. And so my information tends to come from my higher self and from source. And if I am working with a client, we do these kinds of calls, then their guides will come in and communicate with me. So the work that I do isn't necessarily energetically that way. It's a little bit different, but I do have their guides do tell me exactly what it is they need. And what's interesting, sometimes I have elementals. I have fairies that come in and work with me sometimes. They call them, they're the tinker fairies. So they'll go in and tinker on people. Tinker on people on the inside, things that need to be done. And so that's really fun, but I haven't had any experience with the ETs at all. Yeah, that's not,
Wow.
I work with the guides and guardians. And then recently I've been communicating with a ship of Elohim, which I didn't even know were there, but they've been working with me.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Well, they're here to help recreate our world.
I think that's all really, actually, I think everybody has in this group all has amazing supernatural and beautiful experiences, which is really cool. You know, they might all be different and unique, but they're all really, you know, they're all relevant. They're all important experiences. And for myself, I've been receiving downloads for ways to heal people for like 20 plus years. And what happened is in 2011, why I wrote this book, The Real Fountain of Youth, is because in 2011, Yeshua popped into the room and he told me to take the information that I had been teaching people on how to heal their body and to put it into, to get it out to the four corners of the earth. He said to me, I want you to get it to the four corners of the earth. And I said, well, how am I supposed to do that? And he said, in a book. And I said, well, what am I supposed to call the book? And he gave it the name. And then he even named my program the Peace Stress Management System. It's P.E.A.C.E. And it stands for physical, emotional, chemical, and environmental stress. Because he said, Kimberly, the four stresses that are plaguing planet Earth are physical, emotional, chemical, and environmental stress. I put an A in there for good measure because it was PECE, but it was I put it PACE. Mm-hmm. And then he said, I am the Prince of Peace. He said, yeah. And he said, Kimberly, I am the Prince of Peace. He said, when you give people this program, they're going to get peace in their life. They're going to have total peace in their life because they're learning how to heal their body, mind, and spirit completely through managing their emotions, healing their subconscious thoughts and belief systems, their conscious thoughts and belief systems, their past life trauma, their current life stuff, all of it. And then working on the diet and the exercise and all those components and chemicals. Like I have a whole chapter on getting toxins and chemicals and heavy metals out of your body and out of your life. And then the environmental stress is like your environment at home, your environment at work, your environment when you're in the airport or in a shopping mall. How is that affecting you on a stress level? Like the noise, the crowds of people, the negative energy of people, all these different things. So it's like the most comprehensive program probably that there is because it covers every single type of scenario. I mean, I even cover a whole chapter on how to sleep better at night. Pain, chronic pain. I cover a whole thing that I call the chronic pain cycle. Because what happens is you get emotional stress and that causes chronic pain. And then the chronic pain causes more emotional stress, or you can get into like an accident and injury. You can get into that cycle at any point. And I call it a rat wheel. But you could get in a car accident, like I've been in multiple, where my neck was whiplashed and now I have horrible neck pain as a result. And then the pain causes emotional trauma, which causes more pain, which causes more emotional. And it just keeps going and going until you get off the rat wheel. And then I give suggestions on, well, how do you get off the rat wheel? Meditation, anti-inflammatory diet, supplements like curcumin and fish oil and stuff like that help decrease inflammation in the body. I mean, there's so many different things. So that was a download that was downloaded to me, that was given to me. And almost everything I've ever done, honestly, ladies, I've been counseling people for 23 years, and everything I've ever done in the counseling I've done has always been through downloads and through spiritual guidance from my angels and my boss, Yeshua. That's where it all kind of flows through from. And it's kind of a combination of that with my own knowledge and studying these things for 35 years, because I've been studying how to heal the body for 35 years. I've been studying metaphysics, spirituality, paranormal stuff since I was 12 years old, and I'm 55 now. So I've got 43 years of studying all that. And then I kind of combined it all together. But that with the supernatural downloads and even the ET experiences, Ileana, I've been having those for probably 25 years now, because I started meditating 25 years ago and I started seeing these beings. I started seeing them in my meditations, and I didn't know. And some of them were scary, really scary. Like before I found out about reptilians, I was seeing reptilians in my meditations and they scared the hell out of me because I didn't know what the heck they were. And I was seeing grays, and I was seeing also blue avians. and I was seeing different types of ET, like different types of ETs. I saw one that looked kind of similar to like a Yoda kind of a thing, or like an Ewok kind of a thing. You know, I saw all these different things in my meditations that were coming in. You know, they were, I don't know if they were trying to contact me or what it was, but some of them scared the heck. I mean, some of them were trying to contact me because they were addressing me by my name. They're like, Kimberly, you know, and I could hear their voice, you know, and they're trying to talk to me. And I'm very, very protective. I have a lot of angelic protection. And so I think the bad ones are blocked. They're blocked so they can't come through. But I have a lot of them that have been helping me like with spirit, what I call upgrades, like upgrading my DNA, upgrading my physical, my emotional bodies, upgrading my spiritual, upgrading my third eye. You know, I've had a lot of those ETs that have been helping with that. And when it happens, I'll see like a screen pop up that's like looks like a TV screen, and it's got like either numbers on it, like binary code kind of numbers going all across the screen, or it'll have like light language on the screen, and it's like a neon green color. And that's when I'm getting downloads, and I'm getting like upgraded. Basically, my energy is getting, my frequency is getting upgraded. Everything's getting upgraded. My DNA is getting upgraded. We're all going from what we call carbon-based life form to a crystalline life form. I'm getting those upgrades, you know, I'm getting all of those. And I think that what we call the benevolent extraterrestrials that are here helping us, I think they're involved in helping every single one of us to go through these upgrades. It's just that some of us can hear and see them and some of us can't. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So.
And also what Kimberly said about environments and creating safe work environments. I think we all four of us have created our own work safe environments that we work from, correct? All four of us, like Sherri has her healing center. Victoria, how do you create your environments? Do you do your stuff from home or?
Yeah, I work from home. I do a practice every morning where I do a clearing and protection of my own personal field, and then I do a clearing and protection of my home as well, and so that, as I put it, no one and no thing that isn't of the light is allowed to enter. I'm very adamant about that. It's a declaration and a command that nothing is allowed into my field that isn't of the highest vibrations of love, light, and truth. And so then I put myself in a Merkaba, and I put my house in a Merkaba as well. So I am very well protected, and that's part of my daily ritual. I do that every morning, and then I put the protection around my kids and around my car and around my computer and around my phone. I command that I am made invisible and invincible across all concepts of time and space. Like there are no loopholes for anybody or anything to get in that isn't of the light. So that's just a protocol I do for myself every day.
Mm-hmm. And you've created a beautiful healing space in your home to do your work from, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel? Like,
this is my space.
Yeah, and how does that feel? It's yours. It's not the typical. I don't think any of us do the typical 9 to 5 because we all specialize in creating sacred spaces and having a safe space to do our work from with beautiful folks. So how does that work, Victoria? How do you create a beautiful healing space in one's home if somebody wants to work from home like we do?
It's carving out a space that's specific for that purpose. In my particular case, I don't announce it to the world, but this is my bedroom. My studio is in my bedroom. I have a divider in my space that divides my workspace from my sleeping space. So there's an energetic divider between the two, so that when I'm in my bed, I don't see my computer, I don't see any of my work stuff. So I have separated that off entirely. And now I'm kind of a liberated woman because I'm in the middle of a divorce. Where before I wasn't able to work from home. My husband was not supportive of me meeting people here. So, and whenever I tried to get on camera, he would just like show up in the middle of my meetings. And I don't think he was intentionally disrespectful, but it was really hard for me to get my work done, my soul's work done, because he didn't understand it and didn't support it. So now that he's not here, I've taken my space is basically taken over the entire house. And so my living room too, now I can meet clients in my living room, and I don't have any restrictions anymore in my space, fortunately. But for people who don't have that, then it is about carving out a little section in your house that's just you. So my little section in my house for a long time was what I call my 3x3 cubicle. It was just barely big enough to turn my chair around in, but it was my space. And so it's important for people to be able to create that for themselves.
Definitely. And I also have my own little office space that I do my healing stuff from. And I do purely online healing sessions, because energy has no distance, no bounds. Healing energy will reach you anywhere where it's meant to go. So, and I've always done my sessions online, and I have beautiful crystals behind me, crystal grids and stuff. So I tried to make my office very special and full of crystals and beautiful healing energy. And I work from home as well. So I've just been able to create a beautiful space to have privacy. And again, when you're working with people, clients, healings, whatever, psychic readings, whatever each of us does, privacy is key, because we have to have a space that has a closed door and walls, because we're working with those beautiful people and it's about them and their beautiful sessions. So it's important to, like Victoria said, carve out your own space, because we all have energies that we work with and energies that we feel. So working from home really allows us the freedom to express ourselves and to basically do what we do. So yeah, it's about having that freedom to work at our best, to be our best from what we do with work. And Kimberly, how does that work for you?
So for me, so you gotta also understand that I came from like a corporate kind of thing too. And I used to work in an office. I used to have to drive to work every single day, and work in like kind of a corporate kind of environment. I did that for years and years and years and years. And then when I started doing counseling on my own, I moved it to my home, and that's when I became a mom. So that was back about 23 years ago when I, first had my son. That's when I started doing home-based businesses. And over the years, I've kind of developed, how do you want to say, a better system for my home-based business to make it more not only comfortable for me and for clients, because I was for a while actually having clients come into my home office and I was working with them, but also making it kind of like a Zen kind of sanctuary too, because when we're doing this healing work, what it's really important for people to know is if you are a healer or a counselor or something like that, you need to have a very kind of sacred space where you can have peace and balance. Like I've got Jesus and Buddha right here on my desk, on the other side of my desk, and I've got angels all around me here, and I try to play 528 hertz music in the background, and that type of thing. But there's a lot of things that I do to create what we call kind of a safe and peaceful, holistic kind of environment, not only for me, because I'm a super empath and I take on everybody's and I take on the energies, right? So I have to keep myself very grounded and balanced, but also to help my clients too, because whatever situation you're sitting in, people can pick it up. Like, I'll give you an example. When I was working in corporations and I was in customer service, working in the medical insurance industry, when you're on the phone the entire time, people can pick up in your voice what's going on around you. Like, totally, they can pick up that energy, because you have to understand that energy, frequency and vibration, everything is energy, frequency and vibration, even like the way you speak. And even the way you're behaving, and even the sound, the inflection in your voice, people can pick that up on the other end of the line. So if you're sitting in a corporate environment where there's this chaos going on all around you, there's people all around you, there's loud noises, there's all of these things, you know, you're going to have problems because of the fact that they can, you know, they're feeling that energy. And so the nice thing about working from home is if you're working with an audience, you're working with the public, you can create an environment so that when you're speaking to them, they feel peaceful too. Like they pick up the peace, because the same way they are going to pick up the chaos energy, they're also going to pick up the peaceful, calm energy. And the one compliment, actually the biggest compliment that I ever get from my clients, is they say that whenever they work with me, that my voice and the way I speak and how I work with them, it makes them feel a lot of peace. Like they feel very peaceful and calm every time they work with me. And I think it's because I have it set up so that I am peaceful and calm. And so they are feeling that, like they are actually feeling that vibration and that energy of that peace and calm. And so I think it's important for everybody to do that.
Is there anything that we'd like to contribute and just kind of share that can help people? What can we tell the audience, one thing that can help them with their life? One thing that we all can contribute to that could help a person to change, to make a difference, to change a life. Kimberly?
I think, yeah, I was going to say kindness right now is the biggest thing, because like, for example, I'm getting attacked a lot because I'm out there speaking the truth. And there's a lot of brainwashed people who are very asleep and very brainwashed, who don't like that I'm sharing the truth, and they're attacking me. And so how I deal with everyone and everything is kindness, is just, and I think that we need to make kindness the newest VIRUS. That should be that. It should be literally contagious. Like kindness needs to be super contagious, and just making sure that you're kind to people every single day. Like no matter who you speak to them in a kind voice, talk to them nicely, because there's a lot of people, like I'm going through a lot of difficulties in my own personal life right now. I don't talk about it on social media, all the different difficulties that I'm going through, because it's nobody's business. But it would be better if people were being kind to me. And just like I'm being kind to other people, you know, I expect people to also be kind to me. And so we all need to really be kind to and respectful to each other, because nobody knows what other people are going through in their life. Maybe they're depressed and they're suicidal. Maybe they just lost their mom to the VIRUS, you know, maybe they just, you know, something terrible. Maybe they were just diagnosed with the big C. The thing is you don't know what kind of things people are going through in their lives right now. And before all of this bad stuff happened 1.5 years or 2 years ago, when it all started, people were already having difficult lives anyways, but now people's lives are even worse. Things are even worse. You know, like in my state, 75% of the restaurants have gone bankrupt because of this whole fiasco. So, you know, and they were all small family businesses. So all of these people, their employees lost their jobs, the families lost their whole business, and they lost their homes too, because they lost their business and their money. So then they lose their home, and then they're homeless. And before you know it, you have caravans of homeless people. I mean, you don't really know what people are going through. So you need to be kind to everyone. And that is my biggest recommendation for today, is to please, whoever you are, wherever you are in this world right now, I don't care how bad your situation it is, there's no excuse for abuse of other people. No matter how angry I am, no matter how sick I am, no matter how much pain I have in my body, I don't turn around and treat people with disrespect. I'm not mean to people. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, well, I don't feel well, so therefore I can be nasty to people. That's not okay. There's no excuse. You know, even if you're in a really serious bad situation, there's never any excuse for mistreatment of others. You need to be kind. And if you're not going to be kind, loving, compassionate, and forgiving, you're not going to ascend into the density with Ileana, Sherri, and Victoria, and myself. And that's just the truth of the matter, because the thing about all four of us is we walk the talk. We're not only preaching this love and compassion and all this stuff, we are living it every day. We are nice to everybody. And so that is so important. It's the most important thing right now, is to just be kind and loving to one another, be respectful to one another. So important.
Definitely. And I think acceptance, allowing people to be who they are and accepting them for them, and not trying to change a person. Because, you know, we are people. We each have individual distinct personalities, but we're still one race, and we should respect each other. Doesn't matter skin color, doesn't matter belief systems. We are people. We are co-creators. We exist, all of us exist in this reality. So acceptance and being non-judgmental, just because somebody's different from you, that's okay. They're allowed to be different. We don't have to all be labeled the same thing. Just because we have the same body, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, we are all individuals, and we should all be accepted for the people that we are. And trying to change people without, like without a good cause, without understanding who the person is, that's not right. That's why we're here. We're here to accept people and to honor who they are, because we're all one. We're still all different, but we're one. We're still one species. So let's honor that, and let's give acceptance and not create barriers or boundaries or judgments. That has no place here.
That's right.
It's about acceptance and openness.
That's
and
good.
Yeah, allowing people to just be themselves, because we work, all 4 of us work with people every day, and all people are unique, so they have the right to express themselves, and we're here to help them however we can to continue to bring out their individuality and their goodness, to allow them to thrive and to be happy, giving them acceptance and just honoring them for the beautiful individuals and souls that they all are.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what everybody wants, right? Ultimately, every human being wants the same thing. So I think it's important, as I was saying earlier, to let go of any of our attachments of how we think other people need to be. We have no idea what their path is. And as Kimberly said, we have no idea what they're going through. And one of the things I find interesting is the golden rule, right? Treat other people the way you want to be treated. If human beings could just remember that one rule above all others, right? To treat other people the way we want to be treated. And I think that's what I want to remind people, that it doesn't matter who a person is, what they believe, what they think, what they do. Offer them the same level of respect that we would want for ourselves, the same level of honor that we'd want for ourselves, because when enough of us remember to treat other people the way we want to be treated, then the entire world can shift. We just need to start remembering that again.
Definitely. I think this is a good time that we've shared this information, what we're doing, what our journeys are right now, and how to help a person just with one quality of something: kindness, acceptance, inclusion, including people and not judging. And just like Victoria said, we don't know the path they walk, but we're trying to be helpful. We're trying to understand this path and just be respectful and kind and compassionate towards others. Because again, the world is changing, we're all changing, but we're still one, and this brings us together. We're all here to help each other, to learn from each other, and to walk on this beautiful path of honesty and acknowledgement. So I think that's a good way to say thank you to each of you beautiful ladies. Thank you for being here today, for sharing your wisdom and holding safe space for us to share our knowledge and to help other people. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Ileana and Sherri and Victoria.
Yeah, thank you, ladies. You're so
Thank
beautiful.
you.
you.
And thank you everyone who's watching this down the road for
Mhm.
taking the time to do this
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah. Blessings.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a good space to leave it at. What do you think, ladies?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we covered some good positive topics to give people an upliftment today. It's important that we come on and help uplift people as
Mhm.
much as possible. So I think we did that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. Blessings, everybody.
Thank you.